Hey, welcome to another Three Stooge review.
Punch Drunks is the second film the Three Stooges did with Columbia Pictures, and it's remarkable how consistent this particular short is with the rest of their career. Also, what's interesting about this episode is that the Three Stooges themselves are given a story credit.
Also, what's interesting about this is the Three Stooges go by their classic names, unlike in the first short, Woman Haters.
Also interesting is we don't have familiar Three Stooges theme music in the beginning. For slapstick comedy, I give this one a 2. It's a very physical film. The whole film is about violence and calls for a lot of slapstick style comedy, and it's in there, definitely.
I also give this a 2 for slapstick because I think that most of the slapping around is justified.
For dialogue, I give it a 2. Most of the dialogue is pretty straightforward, expositional stuff to move the story along. But it works, so I give it a 2.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the dialogue. I go with the 2 too.
There's not a lot of jokes being told, but
No.
the dialogue isn't poor. I mean, we'll get to plot. Well, actually, we're at plot. There's no unintentional comedy.
No.
Plot-wise, this one definitely deserves a 3. Again, very interesting that the Stooges are credited with helping with the story, because this is basically, first of all, the 3 of them are in classic character mode.
Especially in my view for being the second short that you know they had to create for the Stooges and give the Stooges something to do. This is really, really strong. You've got Curly. Well, you're introduced to Moe. He's bossing people around. You got Curly. He's the dim-witted waiter. Then you got Larry who comes in. The point is this guy,
he's kind of a down on his luck type of person who's tagging along.
We've watched this a few times because this actually gets funnier the more times you watch it. That's what happens with this one.
And in contrast to Woman Haters, this is night and day. I mean, This is an episode. This is a film about the Three Stooges, by the Three Stooges, with the Three Stooges. You know,
and all the Three Stooges antics.
This is probably, you know, this
is a complete turnaround from Woman Haters.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say.
This is completely
and a very good turnaround it is. I gave Moe a 2.
Oh, supporting cast. Sorry,
supporting cast. Supporting cast. I gave the supporting cast a 2 here. There's nothing really special about the supporting cast, but there's nothing irritating about them either. They don't get in the way. So, you know, they're not outstanding. The Stooges pretty much carry this one. You?
Yeah, I give it a 3, and probably for the same reasons that he gave it a 2. I just think that the supporting cast did exactly what they were supposed to do. Everybody had a character. They played that character. That's all they needed to do. I
think the only interesting thing going on outside of what the Stooges were directly involved with is the
bell thing.
The bell thing. Yeah, I mean that's an interesting way. Yeah. Again, that's just good writing.
Yeah.
It's a way to write for the necessity of the cutting that needed to go on in the ring.
Right.
And it's a very amusing way to cut. It's something interesting to cut away too.
It helps move the story on. Everything in this, and you also forget about the subplot. What Larry's doing. He's got this whole thing. I mean, he's got a story into himself.
They could have used that alone to cut in and out of it.
Absolutely.
But you know what? I guarantee, I would be willing to bet, and this is why I like to analyze these. I'd be willing to bet that they said, look, we can't cut to Larry 20
No. Yeah, it's 20 friggin' times. Yeah, you can say that.
I could say whatever I want, right? And they came up with the bell thing almost as an afterthought.
Yeah.
Either
but it's brilliant.
During the writing process or during the shooting process.
Yeah.
But it's one of the reasons supporting cast gets a 2 instead of a 1.
And don't forget, Moe starts that.
That's right.
So, you know, I don't know if it was an afterthought.
All right, I give Moe a 2. Moe is firmly established as a boss character, an egotistical, sadistic control freak.
And you're going to do things his way, you're going to get slapped.
He's definitely not very funny, but he is definitely Moe.
I must have given him a 2. Yeah, I gave him a 2. Moe's basically right all the time in this one. And I like it better when he thinks he knows what's going on and he screws up anyway. I'm not sure I like this character of Moe more than I like Moe, dim-witted Moe. So that's my...
Okay, I see what you're saying. And I agree, 100%. But he's still
But he's still Moe.
We still
I
gave
mean,
him the same score.
Yeah.
We know the future of the Stooges'
Right.
career,
Right.
and we know when Moe, and we'll get to that when we get to it.
Right.
When Moe is on point, we're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
And this is not it. I gave Larry a 2. Larry's not that funny in this. He also doesn't have a lot of lines, and his performance is his character and his role in this episode are perfect. Unfortunately, a little too perfect, where he doesn't really need to have a strong impact.
Yeah.
And therefore
he
he doesn't.
literally is the stooge in the background.
Yeah.
Although I gave him a 3 because there's about, what I would say, 40 seconds of his performance on camera all by himself, and he steals the show. And this is when he comes into the boxing match, and he sits down and he tunes his fiddle. To me, that's one of his best performances, that 40 seconds, So I gave him a 3 because I love watching Larry do his thing.
Yeah. Well, I gave him a 2. Curly gets a 3, hands down.
Hands
This is
down,
one of Curly's funniest roles.
As I said before, Curly in the ring is just, it gets funnier and funnier and funnier. You said this before, that the amount of acting skills it takes to do the fight stuff, the boxing ring stuff, to just be able to improvise like that while this guy's punching him and stuff is just insane.
Yeah, it's funny. It's very funny. There's really not much more to say. Curly's entertaining and interesting throughout the entirety of this short.
He's ridiculous. He's got a hat flapping around. He's got the gloves that don't fit. He's getting smacked around by everybody. I mean, his performance is just...
The short gets a 1 for Pretty Girls, even though there is a woman featured in this. She's not very attractive to me, so I can't score it any higher than that.
I concur.
And the totals are, I give it 17.
And I give it 19.
And that puts this one pretty much a little above average, actually.
This is a classic Stooge short, although it's not one of my favorites. I think this is the Moe that most people who don't know the Stooges really well, I think they think this is the Moe.
I agree. I think the strongest thing about this particular film is that it's the second one.
Yeah.
It's the first
really
one they actually attempted to do the Stooge thing with. Because
Yeah.
again, Woman Haters is not it. So that wraps up the review of Punch Drunks, the second film from the Three Stooges with Columbia Pictures.
Yeah, we'd like you to subscribe.
We'd like you to rate and comment. Join us again next time when we review Men in Black.